Hello and welcome to the Open Platform. Today we are happy to host Mr. Arsen Kharatyan, who is the editor-in-chief of Aliq Media Platform. We will discuss the latest developments at the Azerbaijani-Armenian border. Mr. Kharatyan, thank you and welcome, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
My first question is, what was the reason behind the latest attacks by Azerbaijan?
Well, I think it's pretty clear for everyone that I've been talking to, or whoever has been following the recent developments in the region, is that the Azerbaijani regime in Baku is losing its basically legitimacy more and more in its own public. The ground is becoming more and more shaky, and one of the things that we have always been analyzing, even before the Armenian Velvet Revolution, is that when the internal problems of the country get to a different level, there's a high probability and a chance that the government might trigger something on the front line just to be able to consolidate its own public. So my strong belief is that generally it is because the country and the country's democratic problems, problems with regards to the human rights and other issues that have been coming out for years, for decades now, have become even a larger issue. And in this period of the pandemic, the COVID-19 problems, I think to diverge from the real internal problems, Azerbaijan is going for an aggressive move like this.
Okay, then my next question is, why in the Armenian border? Because we followed the recent developments that when Azerbaijan tried to attack at Artsakh border.
Well, it's very simple. If you look at the border, Armenian-Azerbaijani border, and the border between Karabakh, Artsakh, and Azerbaijan proper, and the line of contact, you'll see that in case of Artsakh, quite a large area is a buffer zone there. You don't have that many villages on the borderline. While the specific area where they've been targeting during the last week, or the 4-day escalation, if you will, have very, very nearby villages, and in some cases it's a couple of 100 meters from the positions. Hence, I think they try to show that they can go for a painful attack. They've been attacking our civilians, they've been attacking our villages, they've been attacking people's homes, kindergartens. This is unprecedented since 1994, and what we've been seeing is, my take is the only reason why they chose that specific area is because we have villagers and people living very close by, and they, in some cases, they do have better positions, so they've been shelling from their positions where they can actually see the villages and they can target people.
You talked about the reason inside Azerbaijan. What Aliyev tried to reach outside Azerbaijan, and what did he try to show?
Well, generally saying, it has been the policy of Azerbaijan to every now and then remind about the conflict. The world goes through a lot of problems, and we know that it's a busy time for geopolitics, it's a busy time for foreign policy, it's a busy time from the perspective of COVID-19. You have crisis in the Middle East, you have crisis in other areas in Africa or in former Soviet space. Ukraine is not resolved yet. So many issues are there, and they're there. And they've been going on. There are protracted conflicts that haven't found their end. We haven't found solution. Hence, every now and then, Azerbaijan thinking that, well, the world is not paying enough attention, goes for a provocation like this. This is a very usual or a common behavior that we've been seeing. I mean, remember back in the day, years ago, when you had any foreign official or high-level official coming to Armenia, they would do something specific, particular, attacking somewhere just to draw attention or make that the main issue in the region. So that it's the continuation of that policy, in my view.
Okay, so my next question is, what did he reach? What did Aliyev reach?
Well, I don't know what they think they've reached. What they definitely did not reach is they were not able to, first and foremost, take physically any infrastructure. They saw that the people here, both the civilians and our military capacities, are more than ready to respond. and I think realized that this kind of a small attack here and there is not going to work anymore. Armenia has taken the path to strengthening its democracy, become much stronger. I was just in the border villages, the physical infrastructure, the roads, which are key for this, are now fixed finally, and we do have quite a clear understanding of what and who we're dealing with. So among other things, one could argue that this was maybe a try to see whether currently the Armenians or the Armenian government or the Armenian people are ready for this kind of attack, and I think they got their response.
So my last question is, analyzing what we have reached and what was the international reaction on everything what happened at this point, what to expect from Azerbaijan and international-wise after this, and considering the Apricot movement and other things that they're trying to reach and they're trying to provoke?
Well, one of the important things that we have to mention is that this is one of those few times when it seems like the conflict or the escalation between Armenia and Azerbaijan is going beyond our borders. We had protests in London, we had protests in Washington, we had protests in Moscow, in major capitals and cities where Armenians and Azerbaijanis live together. And I think all of us, but Azerbaijan first and foremost, should realize that this may go out of hand. So the key thing is to understand when and how the Azeri colleagues are going to come back to the negotiations table, go back to talking, because if we don't negotiate, nobody can predict what can happen. None of us want a war, none of us want an escalation on the borderline. We all want to live in peace, but in order to be able to live in peace, we should first be able to have enough confidence and not attack each other, so that we can sit around the negotiations table within the existing format to discuss how we're going to move forward. So I don't think internationally this showed Azerbaijan in any good color. I don't think if they had any, I don't think they've reached any external support for this, except for their patron Turkey, which has openly announced and stated that they officially are backing Azerbaijan's aggressive moves. And I think this should be a lesson to them or for them to understand that you cannot provoke things like this, small things like this, skirmishes like this, and just get away with it. If this is going to happen, there will be a response. However, we are ready, and we have always been committed to the peaceful negotiations within the OSCE Minsk Group format, and we expect and hope that the serious negotiations, constructive dialogue, will get back on its normal route sooner than later.
And just this question came into my mind. What was the reaction from the Russia and the treaty organization? What do you think about it?
Well, I mean, Russia, as one of the co-chairman countries of the OSCE Minsk Group, made a neutral statement, which I wouldn't expect anything else in this particular case. If you want to continue your role as one of the three co-chairman countries, Russia, United States, and France, then you cannot just take sides, as much as you may have strategic and or other levels of political dialogue or strategic communication and relations. So the statement on the Russian on the level of official Moscow was normal. I wouldn't expect anything else. If Turkey, and this is sometimes people bring up the issue of the involvement of Turkey in Russia, it is showing very vividly and clearly who is standing behind whom. Turkey, if it has any interest to ever get involved as a mediator in this process, is losing its legitimacy, at least in the eyes of Armenians, because it's clearly showing colors. While Russia has made a clear statement calling for the parties to stop the fire. While talking about our international military political alliance, such as CSTO, there I would say that I think I will follow the Armenian line, the official line of Yerevan. At this moment, we don't expect any or need any support. We're good. We'll get away by ourselves. We're fine for now. If anything further comes up, then we can maybe get back and talk on multilateral level on who we expect, what we expect, and from whom.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kharatyan.
Thank you.
And this was the Open Platform, and we hosted Mr. Arsen Kharatyan, who is the editor-in-chief at Aliq Media Platform.